Yo, welcome back to another FPL Banter Show, guys. And we are talking about Game Week 14. First of all, apologies, Chaps couldn't make it. I know he's been absent for a while, but he's going through a very busy time right now in his life. So, guys, things happen. Things happen. But we're here to hold it down for him. Um, hey, it's very apparent things are busy in his life right now because he's just seeing red arrows. Red. Otherwise, G, how you doing, dog? Man United's playing tonight. Yeah, how you doing?
Yo, how's it, cats? How's it, FPL family? Hey, man, I'm good. Can't complain.
Green arrow
Yeah,
for you.
with United playing tonight, I'm uneasy. Um, we've already let a 2-goal lead slip, and it's 2-1, so it's one of those evenings, I
Yeah,
guess.
one of those evenings. Cool. Well, as usual, guys, you'll be seeing the show Thursday morning. So yeah, we would know the result by then. But yeah, please bear with us as we kind of see the game on the side. Okay. But otherwise, excuse me as well. I'm actually sick. I'm actually trying to push through for this. I almost didn't make it, to be honest. I'm yellow flagged. I haven't had a good day. Took meds and went to sleep and stuff. Cool. So excuse me if I am, not myself or anything. But anyway, we're gonna go through the league table or the FPL Banter League table, see where we at, how we performed last week, and then we're gonna talk about the best defense, best attack, and players that are in form to look at who are the captain options. Of course, we'll touch on why we need Mbeumo in and should we be selling people like Son, and is Saka really a better option? And then just looking at players who've come back, such as Luke Shaw was playing on this Wednesday night. And then looking ahead as well, we'll take a look at our teams as well as the FPL Bands team. So yeah, man, without further ado, let's go into it. The Banter boys, Mikey's still at the top, 51 points. It was a shady weekend, G. Like, I feel like everybody was sort of like scraping points who did do well. Like, me and you got 53 points, but it was sort of that type of like 53 points where you're like, okay, thank you, you know?
Yeah, no, well, I agree with you. I think, that game after international break, it's always very um, topsy-turvy, dicey, because you never know, like, who's going to come back and who's injured. And international break did what international break does. It like really stresses us out as FPL managers because, as usual, players come with like little niggles and knocks. I mean, I was even crossing fingers when I saw the yellow indicators on like 2 or 3 of my players. So it was one of those things. But on my side, I think I'm really happy that finally like the team has
Coming
balance.
together. Yeah, this
Like
is
the
two green
balance.
arrows for you in a row, right?
Yeah, yeah. 2 green arrows back to back. I've even moved up
Yeah.
in the Banter Champions League, so I'm really stoked with how the team is doing. So it feels good, that the decisions that I'd made, game week 12, the decisions I made after that,
Yeah.
they've really put me in good stead.
Yeah.
Other managers can't say that
Nah, I
about
don't
their
care how
decisions,
busy
but
that guy
hey,
is. I'm going hard on his ass, my man. This guy is just going toot.
yeah,
He's gonna
I'm
come back on the show and he's gonna be on some like, I'm back. Let me show
but
you
I'm
how.
actually concerned about his squad. To be quite frank, I put the banter aside. I thought that the decision that he made in game week 12,
But
he's
Haaland,
yeah,
man,
he really needs to share some light with what was he thinking, because I really feel that that decision is really going to determine whether he, he's able to win this, because he's also played his wild card. So
and you know
that's
what?
another thing that makes you wonder,
Yeah,
Utish, how.
yeah. Because add 14 points onto that 39, and that's basically like your 53. What we got,
Yeah, and
you know?
in
Or,
general, you look at if the average was 46 and you're getting a 39, and we go to the game week 12, you know,
yeah, yeah.
ish.
It's not looking good, man. Not looking good.
But yeah,
Um, but yeah, man, top six has remained the same. Yeah, you moved up one place. Gone over Tabo's brother there. Naz, the guy I used to work with. Up at number eight, Team Orang dropping down as well. Yeah, man, it's looking interesting, guys. Looking interesting. Yeah, so let's look at the best defense now. I think it's no surprise Arsenal has topped this one. I'm not saying that as a fan, but we've seen the way they play. They have been a lot more about controlling the games. This is sorted by expected clean sheets because, in the end of the day, that's what we're looking for. We're looking for the best defenders who are going to give us the clean sheets. So, through the 13 games that played, Arsenal topped us with Man City right behind them, and Newcastle, of course, always retaining their um, clean sheets at home. Not really getting that this week, this past weekend. I
yeah,
still had a good game against Chelsea, to be honest. Liverpool do show some defensive promise, but news from Wednesday, Klopp has announced that who's this Allison is going to be out, probably for a week or two. Kelleher is the second goalkeeper at 3.9, so it makes things a bit interesting. I think if Allison was out longer, it would make things better. Because he said it was Jota and Allison that are out, right? In his
yeah,
press conference. I mean, started with that, and he did say that Jota would take longer after mentioning that Allison is out, but he won't be ready for this next game week, and mm, maybe the next one after that. So this is game week 14, possibly game week 15, only because remember, these next game weeks, guys, start coming like this, one after the other. And
no, they're very fast.
December time is actually the time a lot of managers either hike in their rank or they dip because a lot of managers are forgetting to set their teams. So make sure that you are planning and you're actually setting your teams appropriately. But yeah, G, looking at this, what's your take, man, in terms of like the best defense and the defensive assets to having your team? Yeah.
Yeah, but I think like looking at that table, there's no surprise. Like the top two, Arsenal has been there for quite some time because I think if you recall, for the game week 13 as well before the international break and game week 12, they were there. You know, as the team with the best defense. You know, you've got your Salibas there, your Gabriel. Those are the two assets you can really go for. And I know you'll always say white, you know, or maybe like a young Zinchenko. But like for me, the two that definitely stand out in that team is definitely your Saliba and your Gabriel. You know, obviously looking at the funds you have in the bank. City, funny enough, looking at I don't know if you saw City's Champions League game last night.
I did.
I was very shocked at how soft those goals were.
No, they
Um,
weren't. I don't think they were, bro. I think those were Tottenham goals. I think those were City High Line and Tottenham fast break. But you know what?
but if
They
if
had a
you saw
striker.
that first goal,
No, both goals were the same to me. And I say this in the sense that they had a guy deep on the last man of City. First one was Akanji,
I
goalkeeper. So,
agree.
right? He
I
hit
agree
the
with you.
ball. He did the exact same thing to Diaz in the second goal. He watched the ball come, and as he let the ball come, he just backed off into the defender to roll, to allow the ball so that he could just run onto it instead of having to control it and then catch pace again.
But for
And
me,
that's how,
that's a weakness, Kat. So you and I are agreeing because those two goals were the exact same goals. Okay,
yeah,
so which means it's something that they practice and it's something that they've observed about the City defense that they play a high line. So if you're able to play, it's pretty much route one football and get the ball to bounce just before or just in that space in front of the centre backs, and have the centre backs behind you or beside you, the bounce beats them both. And for me, as a centre back, and for City, it's something at that level they should be dealing with it
Yeah,
a lot better. Because it's nothing fancy, it's nothing technical. It's
yeah.
simple route one football.
It's also just
So
the defender's fast, the striker's faster than you. So
yeah,
you should be reading like the ball coming. If the ball's coming, you must hit it first, not let it bounce. As a defender, that's like basics. Don't let the ball bounce. And they let it bounce on both occasions, and then they got beat. But I just saying that because they're gonna play Tottenham. I don't feel that's something people need to worry about, because I don't feel like Son is that much faster than the central defenders. Son is slowed down a bit, but I wouldn't say on a through ball sprint, if both defender and striker were like already in momentum, I don't think
Okay. Look, I fully understand it when you're looking at purely the Spurs fixture. Okay, but you see now when you look at Man City, you've got to take into consideration that blank game week 18. Okay, we're in game week 14 now, so you don't want to find yourself having 3 assets of City come game week 18. So it's also something to be very mindful of, because you could always look at maybe your Newcastle assets or your Liverpool assets, who will definitely have a better run of fixtures, and you don't have to be worrying about the game week 18 dilemma. So I think for me it's yes, 100%. If you look at purely the Spurs fixture, you can hold what you have if you've got a City defender. But if you are looking at bringing in a City defender, I don't think it would be a wise decision, purely for the fact that now you also have to take into consideration that game week 18. And I mean, there are much better assets in like your Newcastles, your Liverpools, definitely,
I
bro.
think if you are looking towards game week 18, and I think that's what we should all be building towards.
100%.
Specifically, the people who have their wild cards, like me and you and other people.
Yeah.
I think you should be looking at the team that you want in game week 18, and also making sure that you're not holding too much on those players who will be not playing, like the Brentford and thingy, and then trying to slowly bring those players in, and you're dead ending to game week 18. That being said,
100%.
Game week 18, team that has good fixtures, speaking about defense, is Tottenham versus Everton. Pedro Porro, I think, is a asset which we might be taking lightly. I think he's in your team. He's been
returning. I was about to say, I've held him.
He's been returning, and I mention him because a lot of people were excited that Reece James is back, and he's taken a break and all that stuff like that. And I'm like, okay, good. I'm also interested in Reece, to be honest, but only from game week 16. I think you can bring in Pedro Porro around about the same time, because it's City now. Then I think it's going to be Newcastle.
West Ham just before Newcastle.
West Ham and Newcastle. I think you can bring in Pedro Porro then in game week 15. As long as you've got a suitable person to put in your starting 11 when he plays against Newcastle.
But 100%.
Yeah, he's returning, bro, because of Maddison not being there. He's on set pieces, and he's bulking up there, so he's
and that's actually when we realize the impact Maddison has had on that team. I mean, he's a new signing this season, but it's like chalk and cheese. Spurs is not the same, but they've also got a lot of injuries in that midfield and that defense. So it's not just Madison. It's just like really the team.
It's like I was saying, the entire spine, bro.
Yeah.
When you use both your center midfield, both your center defense, and your attacking, they were just left with taking out Son. The entire team would be crippled. You can't function without your spine. So, yeah, those are my picks. And last thing, in terms of doubling up, I think yes, Arsenal is the way. You're right. Gabriel Gabriel Mangales is the right one to go for. I would be cautious more about Zinchenko. Because we're in a tight fixture run where we're playing a lot of games, including Champions League, so he's prone to rotation. I think a lot more than Gabriel. This is coming from an Arsenal person. So yeah, I would actually be picking Gabriel Mangales there. Wouldn't double on City.
No.
I think Newcastle, if you're doubling on it, makes sense if you got Lascelles at 4.1 because he's your enabler, and then you've got Trippier. That makes sense, but not to be like not to be like Share and Trippier, you know, because right now their fixtures are still not necessarily the most favorite. And then
Yeah.
we're bouncing off Aston Villa right now. Chelsea will look at Gameweek 16. So
But I
yeah,
think with Newcastle, we also need to look at them closely because I feel that the players are tiring. If you look at the fixture congestion and
yeah,
how much time they have to rest in between games,
Villa and Liverpool.
yeah, so I think you really need to start watching them closely in the rotation. Um, I think in December that's when it's going to be a bit of a problem because the fixtures come in quicker and fast. And you did mention that, and I'm still really questioning the squad depth that Newcastle has. So you also don't want to overcommit on Newcastle assets. You know, you've really got to be very strategic. I'd much rather,
Yeah.
if you're going to go in Newcastle, look at the midfield. You know, your Gordon is doing well. Obviously, you can have like a Lascelles, but don't double up on Newcastle. I don't think that would be great. Just looking at
Yeah,
the
if you
fixture
got
run.
one, just keep one.
Yeah,
Don't bring in another one. Um, yeah, yeah.
100%.
Speaking about attack midfield, let's take a look at the best attack. This is the team with the highest expected goals. That's what we want to look at really. Who's scoring the most goals because they most likely will also have the most assists. So Liverpool at the top, Man City right behind them, Aston Villa with a good record at home, Newcastle there as well. Not surprised. And then Chelsea coming up behind them, who've creeped up from bad form. And then Brentford is there, which raises the point of Mbeumo. Um, I think let's talk about Mbeumo because there's that question as to why Mbeumo. And yeah, man, I think that guys, I think it's very clear, and I think we'll see later on in the fixture ticker. I don't want to jump too much, but Mbeumo's got a great fixture. The best three, if you ask me my opinion, because it's Luton and then he's playing Brighton and then he's playing Sheffield as well. And then we can take him out after that. And this man, in terms of his stats, honestly, he's right up there with Salah. So he's also on penalties. It's a no-brainer, to be honest. Surprisingly, I haven't made my move yet, and I knew he was going to rise in price.
What's this on Mbeumo?
Yeah, on Mbeumo. Yeah, honestly, I don't know what else to say. But I think if I was to answer the question as to why we need him, I think effective ownership. I know a lot of people in the community don't like that, but if you don't have him, he's going to hurt you specifically in these next few rounds of fixtures. I don't want to say it's going to be like not having Ireland because I don't want to compare him, but he's going to be that player who, if he holds, you're going to see a great number of teams, players, managers move up above you in the rank because he's going to be in their team. So I think you need Mbeumo just to make sure that you're maintaining your rank, quite frankly, along with the rest of the crowd as well. I don't think, in all honesty, that he's going to give you that much of a boost compared to other people because I feel like then there's like if there's one uh, uh, transfer people are making, it's in Mbeumo in, to be honest. Yeah, what's your thoughts on that, G?
Yeah, I think when I was looking at the stats. Funny enough, the most transferred player in this game week is Palmer. I
Really?
think, yeah,
Nah, man.
he's a good shot, but you see on the Mbeumo case, if you look at his last two games, obviously I think the one was against City,
And
and
then
and then
Arsenal.
this and then this previous one was Arsenal. This guy could have scored in both those games. He had clear cut chances. He's always the guy that they do find. And if you look at the opposition he had, City had to uh, pull off some great defending, great saves from the keeper. The same thing with Arsenal as well. There was that shot that he had. It was literally in like
Yeah,
the small box, you know. There was some great defending. And now you've got Mbeumo against Luton at home. He will get opportunities. And looking at his fixtures, Brighton, Sheffield, Villa, I don't see those teams excuse me, having the same resilience as the other two teams that I've mentioned. So for me, he's definitely the go-to guy, and he's that individual. Whether it's a positive fixture for him or a negative fixture, he will get an opportunity. And if the defense or the keeper is sleeping, he's gonna bang a goal. He
yeah,
has proven that he's got the goals. I'm sure he's short. He's the third or fourth after your Salah, Haaland, Watkins, and then Mbeumo. He's there. He's that one guy that I think you definitely need to bring him in. I'm definitely planning to see who comes out for him because I want him against Luton. It's a really
yeah.
a nice fixture,
It is.
and like you said, he's one of those players that are owned quite a bit. If you don't have him in your team and he performs, you're gonna suffer.
Yeah,
So if
yeah.
you've got the funds, go for him,
Go for
or
it.
you can go for young Palmer. But I think for Chelsea, we need to just hold on to those assets. They don't play them as yet. For me personally,
Yeah, I think another interesting talking point, just going further down this top 10, you've got Arsenal below Brentford, then Brighton, Everton, and then coming 10th is Spurs. And there's a huge debate now where it's pretty much Son versus Saka. And I'm seeing both sides of the argument, right? So the argument here is, quite frankly, Son's supply is being cut and he's blanked in 3 game weeks in a row, right?
yeah,
Uh, this previous game week, we've seen that he was very unlucky. Very, very unlucky. He had a hat trick of offsides. And, the game the previous to that, they lost against Wolves. They weren't necessarily, he wasn't necessarily all that active. I think he was more of a silent partner. I honestly don't feel like he's going to get anything against City. This is that tough run of fixtures. Also considering he doesn't have his supply. So if I had Son, to be honest, I would transfer him out. That's me to you guys because of his fixtures and the fact that he doesn't have the guys that he needs behind
the supply. Yeah,
the flag.
I
Now,
I agree as well.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Now, then people are going now, oh, but let's bring in Saka because if not Son, then who? And they go, Saka. He's on penalties. He's the talisman of the team. And here's my thing, and this is why, as an Arsenal fan, and I think the Arsenal expert on this panel of FPL guys of this channel, I wouldn't also go for Saka, and I haven't gone for Saka. One, I don't feel like his price gives me as much as it should be. I think Saka hasn't been involved as much as we would like him, like last year. This year, Saka gave a quote just this past week. He said he's been watching games and he's noticed that he is being doubled up, and he's trying to figure out a way around that. And that is not allowing him to really necessarily make those runs that he used to make into the box where either he would cut back or he would get that opportunity to shoot. That is also happening, and you notice as well, to Martinelli. And that's why they're both not necessarily scoring the goals that, or necessarily also being as much as,
But Kat, if you're gonna compare him to Son, he's a much better asset to have. Purely for the fact, if you look at the last 3 games, okay, Son has been averaging 2 points. 2 points against Chelsea, 2 points against Wolves, 2 points against Aston Villa. And this guy, by the way, he's 9.6 million. Okay? And then we look at Saka. Right? He's 8.7. Well, he's gone up now. He's 8.8. I'm sorry, like I've got to throw in the numbers now because it's that time of the season where we need to the numbers talk. The numbers talk. Yeah, right.
That's what we do.
Yeah, and against Newcastle, he got 2 points. Against Burnley, he got 5 points. Against Brentford, he got 8 points with an assist. With your observation that he's being marked, he's not being able to do those runs. But you know what? He's finding the assists. He's scoring points. You know, so really, for me, those numbers, his price tag, you take a Saka over a Son. A Son is in a struggling team. We've said it, injuries galore. No one's giving him ball. The numbers are telling you that he is not dishing. But this is FPL, fair enough. So you can say you want to hold him, but there's more to lose when you've got a Saka who's got a Wolves and a Luton.
You give a good point, G. Right. You give a good point. Just to add to my argument, right? The reason why I also don't is because Arsenal's not scoring as much goals as we used to. So in a game where we would win, we're winning by like 1 goal. So if a team scores against us, you're damn sure we're going to win 2-1. They score 2 against us, we're damn sure we're going to win 3-2. I mean, that's if it's like a Wolves, we'll get the goal we need to make sure we win.
Yeah.
And that being said, most of our thing is 2-1, and Saka won't be always involved in those wins. Like I knew Brentford was going to be a close game. Even all these other games, yes, he just happened to be the guy who's always, and you'll see if you probably go back to his past 3 assists, even in the Champions League, you'll notice he's on the far wide and he goes left, and then he crosses from outside with his left from his right side. And he's looking for people in the box or on the far post. And Man United scored. Sorry.
Yeah. Stop doing this. Okay, look, we're still on Saka.
Yeah. So you know what I'm saying? I just don't feel like that 8.7 for me. No.
Your problem.
I don't feel like it's a week in, week out. You know what I've been saying?
It's your team. It's your team. It's your team. Let's not bring emotions.
No, I'm just giving you my Arsenal expertise.
Listen here, FPL managers.
It's like me asking you about
guy's being biased. No,
right?
but you're being biased. All I'm gonna say is that when it comes to FPL, team morale is everything. Okay, it is everything, and having a team that is able to get wins when we don't expect them to get wins, and that player who helps the team get a win that is on top of the table at this moment was Saka. That guy, he deserves to be in your FPL team because he's in a winning team. He's in a team that is at the top of the table. He's in a team that has got confidence, and he's cheaper than a Son, and he scored more points in the last 3 game weeks. So for me, guys, that's what should talk. The involvement in the team. Forget about this guy who supports Arsenal and he's gonna tell you that no, as an Arsenal. Me, I'm telling you as an FPL manager here, those numbers do not lie. I mean, you look at Gordon right now. None of us expected him to do what he's doing. We spoke about him earlier on. The reason why I'm putting him in because he surprised all of us. This guy this season, he's been a surprise. Like when you look at Newcastle right now, but he's putting up his hand. He's got the points. Numbers don't lie. Let's just leave it at that.
Okay.
Numbers don't lie.
This is why I started this point by saying It's controversial, and I see both arguments. And yeah, but there you have it, guys. The Saka versus Son debate. You choose what is best for your team, because in the end, that's like G said, your team. And I think he's right. Think of it more from a manager's perspective rather than being
We want points, yeah, guys. We want points. Nothing else.
or an
It's
Arsenal
not
fan or a
personal.
United fan. Yeah, let's take a look at the players best informed. Best informed players. We have Haaland at the top, with Watkins coming right behind him. This is sorted by expected points, and it's taking the past 4 games into consideration. So basically, how well they've done in the past 4. I know a lot of people like to think of the past 6, but I feel like those last 5 and 4 are just too far back. I think 4 is close enough to really.
This season it's very strange, because for me, the level of inconsistencies of the games, it's hard to be too focused on what happened like the last
6 games ago. Or even, I mean, you're right. So even almost the previous game week. Yeah.
It's tough. So I think if you don't watch the games and you just look at numbers, it's difficult. It's better when you sit down and you see, which are okay, this is how they're playing. Then at least you can make a decision based on something you're seeing than a feeling.
I agree with you. And you know what? I want to say this. This is a meta of the game which, for me, improved my FPL decision making, is understanding the technical side, the tactical side, not the technical, the tactical side of the game in football. So understanding your teams as to what formations they play and where they're most effective within those formations, then looking at the players who play in those formations and what their roles are, so that you know, wow, these are their goal involvements, these are their defensive attributes of the team. Playing against this team that has this type of tactics and information and players, this team will win and these players will get the better points and stuff like that. So I think also knowing more about the team's tactical side, I think that's allowed me to see more which players are able to perform week in, week out, and and also why teams are not consistent. Because in the end of the day, it's not the days where teams are all lining up in 4-4-2, dog. You get what I'm saying? It's not. Yes, right now the popular formation is 4-3-3, but within 4-3-3, there's almost like 3 iterations of 4-3-3. And within those 3 iterations of 4-3-3, each iteration has got its own different ways of playing with it. So, like the Liverpool used to have the wing backs, which would bomb forward. Do you understand?
Yeah.
In another one, you'd have the wing backs actually invert. So that's a different one. Do you understand? Another one, the striker wouldn't be like Haaland sitting up there. The striker would be a false 9 that would come in. And you think about that type of football, and then you're playing against another team who's playing, if not a similar but a different one, they're gonna perform differently because they're playing against a different side, whereas opposed to more so the 90s where almost everybody was playing the same, and it was more based on creativity, basically. That's just my opinion. But yeah, man, I think that's where we at, really. I feel like we need to understand more of the tactical aspect of teams for us to be able to mark which players will be more effective going forward. But going back to this table, I think what for me was what was interesting was the only 2 P defenders in here was the Saliba and Zinchenko, I think, which solidifies what we were saying about a double Arsenal defense. I think that's a very small topic, but I don't even want to talk about that. I think Palmer's...
I'm disappointed that freaking Salah's below Jackson, bro. That's an insult, but yeah.
Yeah, no, but we need to remember Jackson scored like 3 goals in the past. This is the past 4 game weeks.
Yeah, well, against what? How many men? Was it a full strength side?
Nah,
Guys,
it
we can't
wasn't.
forget that.
It wasn't.
We
No, no.
cannot forget that.
And that's why when we look at these things, we must
We cannot forget that.
remember those things. It's also like
Yeah, like
seeing Palmer at number 3 and going like, a lot of penalties, But he is
well, like
a player.
with Palmer, he's been doing it consistently. I think that's one thing we need to give. Ever since he's been starting, ever since his transfer to Chelsea, you can understand and see why he left. You can see that he wants to play first team football. It's evident. His quality, it's just there for all of us to see. For me, Jackson, question mark. Still with his hat trick, question mark. But hey,
Yeah, yeah. But hey, I think the most capped player this season. These guys score another equalizer. Where is his own goal?
they scored another equalizer.
It's our own goal, dude.
Dude, okay, we need to.
Yeah.
Context.
No, I know. Okay, cool. So look, talking about captaincy, basically, that's the main option. The real reason looking at this. Salah is the main captain this game week. Haaland is definitely an option. Watkins is playing Bournemouth. Who do you think, looking at this honestly, is a good option? Yeah.
I think when I look at my team, I think I'll base it on my team because it's also something where I've got Salah, I've got Haaland, and I will definitely be looking to bring in Mbeumo. Mbeumo is very enticing. He's enticing for the fact that not many managers are going to go for him, right?
Mm-hmm.
But also at the same time, a Salah with his home fixture is also quite, because he's playing at Borzy, so he's someone to go for. Because I know everyone's going to stick with Haaland.
Really?
Yeah, well, like I think so. Like he's brought returns in 2 game weeks in a row. Like that return against Liverpool. None of us were expecting it, but he's done it. And Salah blanked. But I also feel Salah at home. Hey, Salah at home.
That's the reason why
Salah at home.
I'm going Salah. For me, I think it's obvious.
Salah at home.
Only because of the history Tottenham has with Thingy, I feel like it could be a very back and forth game. And yes, fine, Tottenham don't have the team, but like, I'm just like, nah. I think, and the mere fact that Haaland played this weekend and like Tottenham's well rested, I feel like they're gonna have a proper plan that might just keep City really busy, So yeah, I just feel like Salah and crew, they've won, they're already through in the Europa League. So they're not really concerned about the Europa League this week. I think they're gonna rest players a lot, have Salah and them on the bench. So I feel like they're gonna be fresh. I think for me, in terms of going down, I would say Salah first, Haaland second, then I'll go Watkins third, third captaincy pick.
You've got all 3 of those, eh?
Yeah, I've got all 3 of those, and then I'm gonna bring in Mbeumo as well. Mbeumo, I'm not thinking about it all. I think Mbeumo, if you want to be different, then yeah, you can definitely go Mbeumo. He is a good captaincy shout. Are they playing Luton at home or what?
No, he's Luton away.
Yeah, that's probably why I wouldn't captain Mbeumo. Just Luton at home they're a different animal. So yeah. They could struggle.
Now, I think maybe I'll also just agree with you on that. But I just feel that with Spurs, with those cracks in that midfield, that defense, I just feel that this game won't be as tight as we expect. But I also just feel that they're not that well-oiled machine. So purely for the fact that Liverpool at the moment, they seem to be compact. I like how compact they are. Salah will definitely you can't go wrong with giving him the armband. But again, with Mbeumo as well, playing against Luton, yes, Luton at home is a good side, but I just feel that all these opportunities that he's been not putting away in the other games, that he might just be like, hey guys, I am Mbeumo and bang, hat trick.
But I don't think
Bang, hat trick, and we were like, oh.
almost missed. I don't think you have anything to worry about if you're captaining Haaland or Salah and other people in captaining Mbeumo, to be honest. I feel like it's one of those game weeks where
Open.
yeah, man. Even Watkins, bro. Like it could blow up for any of them, bro. And maybe even all of them. So yeah. Just bouncing onto the fixture ticker before we get on to our.
Sorry, I just need to quickly get a charger.
No, do your thing. Onto the fixture ticker. I'll take this one. Brentford's at the top. I think it solidifies our point about bringing in Mbeumo. He's the person to really bring in. And then a lot of people mentioning Arsenal. I think they're a really good defensive pair to bring because they got Wolves and then they got Luton next. Their fixtures are also looking good. Man. I mean, I think looking at this table, it's very It's very clear who your transfer should be. Like we said, I think this game week, if you got one, you're definitely looking at bringing in Mbeumo. And then, if you're looking at bringing an extra defender, definitely Arsenal based on their fixtures with Wolves and Luton coming up next. I don't think you're going to be looking elsewhere. But one shout out I do think people should look at is Wolves. After game week 14, they got Burnley and then Nottingham Forest, both at home. And if Bowen is not necessarily, if Bowen is not back, then that might be, or if you guys want to take out any of your Aston Villa assets, I think he can. Hopefully, Neto will be back by then. That's what it says. December the 5th. So I think watch out for Wolves, especially if Neto's back. Yeah. Any takeaway from here, G?
Yeah, no, I think I agree with what you've shared. There is definitely great opportunity with Wolves. I also agree after this game week 14, looking at 15, 16, it is something that you can explore. Mbeumo, definitely this game week. I know a lot of managers were backing for Eze before he got injured, so I think Mbeumo would be a good option. Also Palmer.
But not
Palmer,
yet.
I really feel
not yet.
well. I know people say not yet, but I just feel that kid, to have him in your side, even looking at putting him on the bench.
Against Brighton, yes. Against Man United, questionable because it's Chelsea and their way. So I guess you could bench him in game week 15 if you want to bring him in this week, and then I'm fine from game week 16. So yeah, man. Yeah. Cool. Guys, if you've been liking the show, you know what to do. I hardly do this. I always have a slide for it, but please do give us your views. Let us know what you think about our debates, our points. Leave it in the comment section. Please give us a like. And,
no, man.
Most importantly, subscribe. So I haven't seen it yet, but apparently Man United got the right score. Oh, it's 3-3. Gee, man. You know what? I'm gonna quickly squeeze through. It's obvious for me. I only got one transfer, and I'm gonna make it with Eze. The only reason why I haven't done my transfer is to get further news on Bowen. And further news, really more so further news also on Eze. I've been hearing rumors, but I want to hear that's a brilliant call. I want to hear how long he's going to be out for, because I brought him in for 3 game weeks, not just this one. To the point where it made me think, hey, maybe I should just swap him for Elise, but I need to bring in Mbeumo, so that's the sub I'm going to be making. But at the same time, I will keep my ear to the ground more about Alisson as well, because if I can make some money by taking out Turner and bringing in Kelleher, then yeah, definitely, because they play Fulham and Sheffield as well. So yeah, any thoughts on this, G?
I'm just still surprised that you've still got 3 City assets, eh? You're really holding on to those guys.
Oh, well, like I always say, bro, it's part of the plan. Honestly, I don't know how much I say and I share with you guys, but quite frankly, I've actually planned my transfers all the way up to Gameweek 18. So, yeah, those guys are very much there until Gameweek 18. Mbeumo's going to be the one that's in and out, and I will have a complete team um, in Gameweek 18 with all three of them on the bench, actually. I just like the fact that they're playing Crystal Palace and Luton. So that's why I've still got them. And Akanji, I don't know what it is, but Pepsi's something in him. And, he's been returning for me, dude. So I've had 3 defenders score in the past 3 game weeks. Saliba, Lascelles, and Akanji. So I've got some sort of luck going on. I don't know what it is. But yeah. Yeah.
All right, sweet, bro.
Right. What is it with you? Same steez.
Yeah, I think for me, Matoma is definitely going to be shipping out for Mbeumo. I've got some money in the bank. And then I'll definitely probably be putting Bowen on my bench, and then Mbeumo will come in for him. But yeah, I think that will be the team for my game week 14, eh? Other than that, yeah, I'm happy with everything else. But looking game week 15 onwards, I'm not really too sure that I'd still have Diaby in that team.
Who
He's
you taking out for you taking out Matoma?
Matoma, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm taking out Matoma, bringing in Mbeumo, and then yeah, that's me for game week 14 for now.
And you captaining Haaland?
Nah, I think I want to captain Salah.
Yeah, I'm gonna captain Salah. I'm not even gonna hide. I'm not hiding that. That's what it is.
Yeah, I also just feel looking at the fixture. I mean, I feel more comfortable going for Liverpool, Fulham at home as opposed to Tottenham City at home.
Last question: Lascelles versus Archer. You really think Archer's gonna?
Archer's playing Burnley.
Yeah, but Lascelles is playing at home.
United. Archer's playing Burnley.
United. United. Eh? I'm not sure if you guys are gonna score, Doug.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah, not to Newcastle at home. It took that Sterling goal for them to score. And that Sterling goal was good. That's a goal where I'm like, okay, cool, I get it, guys.
I've got nothing against Newcastle. It's just that Burnley and Archer are back Archer. I've had him in my team for a reason. I didn't want to buy him to just keep him on the bench. And I really feel that if there was any fixture for me to play him, come on, it's got to be against Burnley. Surely.
Okay.
Yeah, attack over defense any day.
Yeah.
If I lose out, I lose out. But hey, this is his chance. As a manager, you know what they say. Sometimes you just got to back the players that you have and give them an opportunity. And Archer, if you're listening out there somewhere, somehow, this is your opportunity.
This is your opportunity. Okay, cool. Let's check out the banter, boys. All right. Banter, boys. I think it's obvious what we need to do here. Take out Eze.
Yeah, Eze needs to go.
I structured the team, so this is what it looks like right now. Just not sure who we bring Eze in for after all our discussions. Out for.
Yeah, I think it's something that we still need to definitely discuss. How much money do we have in the bank?
I don't know. Hold on, let me just check quickly. Yeah.
Gordon would be nice.
Oh, yeah. I was thinking about that. Gordon would be nice.
Yeah, he's also because he's quite cheap as well.
I think let's just keep him as an option. We've got 1.2 in the bank.
Yeah. Sure, we've got quite a bit of guaps, eh?
Yeah, no, we do. We made some. This team, we've done some good surgery to this team. But let's keep Gordon in mind. I think playing Man United at home, he'll be one of the good guys.
Gordon, your Palmers, maybe.
We
Cole
are eventually
Palmer.
going to have to start slowly bringing in those Chelsea players. So I think right now let's just bring in Gordon because he's cheaper. He's about a 0.2 cheap, so he'll give us 1.4 in the bank once we make that substitution. So yeah. All right. Cool. And that screen was to remind you guys to please like, comment, and subscribe. Cool. I'm going to let this one be short and say, guys, remember, it's going to be a busy time. So please make sure you're planning your game week 15, 16 transfers as well. And I think if you got a wild card plan towards game week 18, like I have, other than that, yeah, man, you've heard it from us. G, any last words?
Yeah, I think now this is the time of the season where it's very warm. Guys have played a lot of games. Teams have played games. It's very important to make informed decisions as a manager. So even if you don't get to watch all, even if you don't get to watch the games, watch the highlights and look at the players.
The long highlights.
Look at the players and see what they're doing. And then from there at least you'll also get like an idea, like what your player's doing when you bring him in. Because as well, sometimes you can look at the figures, the numbers will say one thing, but when you're looking at how the team is playing, it could always give you a better insight. But other than that, let's keep enjoying, have fun. All we want is a green arrow. Nothing else matters.
All right, guys, that's it from us. Have a good game week 14. Peace.
Oh, yeah. Peace.